Hey guys, Horrorman again, back for another review. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the brand new Rick figure from Series 8 of The Walking Dead, made by McFarlane Toys. So recently I did a review on the Morgan from Series 8, so we're going to go ahead and get right into the Series 8 Rick review. The next review I have coming for The Walking Dead is going to be the Gravedigger Daryl Dixon, and this was the Walgreens exclusive variant, and it's part of Series 7, so look for that. Hopefully I'll have that done this week as well. So let's go ahead and get right into the packaging. On the back you can see all the different characters that are in this wave. We have Bob, which is... I haven't quite seen him out yet, but I'm sure he's in stores somewhere. Tyrese is another exclusive. Have Dale finally. Morgan, which I've obviously reviewed already. Eugene, Rick, and Carol, and she's in another Walgreens variant. So, and then you have a little bit of credits here for McFarlane.com and McFarlane Toys. And then just on the front, you can just see where it says Rick. And just based on the AMC TV hit series 12+, and you can get a pretty good look at them in the packaging. So, and then of course you can see where it says Series 8 at the top. So let's go ahead and open up the packaging and see what we got. Alright, so here's Rick out of the packaging. And, you know, of course we have several Ricks at this point, but what's really nice about The Walking Dead as far as the characters is they've really progressed over time and actually started to look a lot different than what they used to look when they first started the show. And Rick's a perfect example of that. So let's get some close-ups of the head sculpt. So this is definitely my favorite head sculpt of Rick so far. Much different than the look we've seen him have in the past, you know, few series of figures, and it's really a nice switch up. I've been wanting, you know, more of like that heavier bearded, a little bit longer haired look from him, just more like the comics that we've seen, you know, more recently. And they've definitely delivered a pretty good head sculpt here. You can see there's a little bit of blood on his face here, and it's mainly just like nicks and cuts in his face. You can see one across his nose. So they've definitely done some a pretty good job of representing a little bit more rugged, kind of worn down Rick. So you can see that beard came out pretty heavy. Maybe not quite as heavy as it was, but it's still pretty thick. But yeah, definitely a much different look than we've seen from the previous figures. And you can see they've really done a good job with the hair. You can see like the waves that he has in the hair. It's not you know, straight back like the comics. This is based off, you know, the TV show. So yeah, they've done a really good job with the likeness of Rick. Now, besides that great head sculpt, there's also some really good details going on in the torso, especially this jacket. And it's another thing that personally I really liked with this Rick. I do like this jacket. You can see the collar's got this kind of like texture to it because it's supposed to be like a sheep type of lining to it, I guess. And then you can see he's got a lot more wrinkles in his shirt, which is also a lot dirtier than the previous Ricks. Now, just like Morgan, the actual jacket really isn't like a soft, pliable material. It's more of like a harder plastic. So I do wish they would have went with more of a soft material like you would see like NECA or Mezco do. But yeah, it's really hard jacket, so I'm not huge on that, but it did come out pretty good anyway. And you can see there's definitely more detailing in the cuff area of the jacket, and then even the back has a little bit of like worn kind of look to the back, and there's some wrinkles in it. So yeah, the torso area looks great. Now down to the pants area is pretty much what you would expect. It's I would say probably identical to the other Ricks, if not maybe just a little bit more worn out looking. But you can see just like the the cowboy boots are a little bit more scuffed up maybe, but I'm pretty sure it's about the same as all the other figures. So nothing really new here, but I do like how nicely that belt buckle shows up. Now to go over the articulation, head's pretty much on that same joint that we're used to. Get a decent amount of head turn and not really any looking up, mostly because of the hair, and then a little bit of looking down, not too much. You can get a little bit of like a head pivot, but really not much to that either. So the ball joint's a little tough to get. I don't know. It's nice how like it kind of starts off a little bit more stiff, but it really doesn't give you too much motion here. The arm can go up about like that, and then it can go out about as far as that. And then of course he's got the articulation in the elbow, and then there's articulation in the hand. Now the hand, since it has the cuff, you really can't do too much with it. You definitely can't cradle or anything like that, but you can still twist the hand anyway. And on this side, the hand's out just a little bit more farther than this hand, so you might be able to do just a little bit more with it, like holding a gun. There's really nothing in the waist, and then the legs have kind of like a strange articulation. You can go out far that way, and then he can kick about that far, and then he does have the knee articulation and nothing in the feet. So yeah, I mean the articulation is pretty much what you would expect. It might be a little bit more hindered than the other Ricks, mostly due to maybe like the hair, so as far as looking up it's a little tough to do, and then the jacket kind of hinders the arms a little bit. Alright, so here's Rick with all of his accessories. He's fully loaded and ready to face any zombie army. So very cool. Now don't expect to get really any two-handed poses with this machine gun. Like I said, the articulation's a little bit hindered on him, so you're not going to have a lot of luck doing that. But he can hold the accessories in any hand. He holds the machete very well, holds the gun very well, and you can fit the revolver in the holster. Now the holster isn't quite as nice as some of the Ricks in the past. I had a little bit of a time getting that in there. That's about as far as I can go. The holster looks like it's actually a little too small for it, but otherwise it's great. Now one thing worth noting on the gun is in the past I've had some issues with this strap breaking, but they've actually added a little bit of a cool thing here. There's a little like dot in the back, not quite a hole, just like a little dot, I guess, what you could say, and then you can just fit this little peg into there so it holds in. In the past I've had these break very easily, so it's nice that they finally figured that one out. So the machete has some really nice details. You can see the blood kind of splattered across the blade there, and you can see a nice sharp edge at the top, like a serrated edge, and then the other side again there's some more blood splatter, and then the handle, which is just got a little bit of silver paint on it, unfortunately, but the other side looks really good. But yeah, this is a very cool accessory. Alright, so for the first comparison, here is a look at 3 different Ricks. Now this is the Walgreens exclusive Rick, this is the Series 7 Rick, and this is the Series 8 Rick. And you can see the biggest difference is the facial hair. You can see the first one has no facial hair. The second one has like a little bit more like stubble, and then the newest one obviously has the heavier beard. Another thing worth comparing is I said that the holster wasn't quite the best, and you can see by looking at these 2 different Ricks that the holsters are significantly smaller. So yeah, the handgun is definitely going to have a hard time fitting in that holster because of it. So now that McFarlane's on Series 8, there has been quite a few Rick Grimes figures. Here is the Series 2 Rick Grimes, which is an awesome figure. It's one of the few that actually has the hat on. The only one I don't have pictured, well, basically the ones I don't have, is the Series 1 Rick. There's also a Series 1 black and white Bloody Rick, which is the hardest one to get. Besides that, there's a Woodbury Assault Rick, which is my least favorite, and honestly I wouldn't recommend it. And there's a newer one that's a Walgreens exclusive also, and that's the Rick that's in the full deputy outfit, like basically the first episode. So very cool if you could find it. Like I said, it's a Walgreens exclusive, but definitely plenty of Rick figures to choose from. And here's the Rick next to one of the SWAT team zombies, which looks very cool. The zombie's a little bit bigger, but definitely in scale together. And here's how Rick matches up next to the NECA Toys Freddy Krueger figure. Freddy's in the 7-inch scale, McFarlane Toys Walking Dead figures are in the 5-inch scale. So yeah, these definitely don't look too good next to each other, but at least you can get an idea of how they match up. And for the last comparison, here he is next to the NECA Toys Renegade Predator figure. And Predator is also in a 7-inch scale, but he's an actual 8-inch tall figure. Alright, so that's my review. All in all, I'm pretty happy with Rick. The only downsides I'd say is probably that jacket. I really do wish it was a softer material as opposed to the harder plastic. And I don't know, the holster's just a little bit smaller. I don't understand why that is the case. It could have been because they used a harder plastic instead of a softer rubber. I'm not sure, but yeah, I do wish that would have fit better. Otherwise, it's a very cool figure. This is honestly the head sculpt I've been kind of waiting for Rick. And you should be able to just pop off the head and put it onto another Rick figure. But I haven't really tried that, so I'm pretty happy with this overall look. You could find this figure at any Toys R Us, comic shop should be getting them now, any specialty store, and it's around $18. So thanks for watching my review. Please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you have any questions or anything like that, or whatever you want to say. So yeah, like I said, thanks for watching my review, and see ya.